today we're going to be looking at the Ecogear AQUA swim shrimp and the Ecogear Oval Tenya Jig Head. Okay, so let's start off with the actual lure itself. Okay, this is a very nice little soft lure. Okay, so if any of you out there like tackle fishing for your bass or your wrasse, this is a brilliant little lure. With it being about 65mm in length, it's quite a nice size. Okay, and how I like to fish these is I like to fish them on the bottom. Okay, I like to bounce them back. Okay, so what I tend to do is I cast them out there and I let them hit bottom, and I might leave it there for a couple of seconds, okay, 2 or 3 seconds, and then I'll start bouncing it back. Okay, so I'll give it a couple of bounces and then I'll stop. Okay, and leave it again for another 2 or 3 seconds, and I'll bounce it back again. For me, this is a very effective way of fishing them, and I've caught many bass and wrasse doing it this way. You can fish it on a Texas rig if you like, but I tend to like to fish them on the Oval Jig Head, which I'll show you later on. Okay, but also with Ecogear, they have made these biodegradable. Okay, so they are very, very good for the environment of the sea. Okay, but also Ecogear have jam-packed these with amino acids. Okay, so when the fish bite and they taste the amino acids, they don't want to let go. Okay, they've hit them hard already, but as soon as they taste them, they love them, they love the taste, and they're not going to let go. Okay, I love these little lures. I've had such a good catch rate on them, so I would strongly advise getting down to your local tackle shop or getting on the internet and definitely buying some and get out there and target some wrasse and some bass on them. Okay, so now we're coming on to the actual jig head. Okay, now these are specifically designed to go along with the actual swim shrimp itself. Okay, and there it is. For me, I love this little jig and I love fishing them with the actual swim shrimp. Okay, because they're not just like any ordinary jig heads, because most jig heads have more like a ball on the front for the weight, but this is almost like a semicircle shape. So when it hits the bottom, it keeps the hook at a nice angle, which results in much more hookups. Okay, but also with this little jig, it's also got an added hook on the back. Okay, and with that just comes in just below the tail on the little shrimp. Okay, which I find is very, very effective, because when I'm fishing for wrasse, I tend to hook the wrasse more on the small hook than I do the bigger hook. So I think having that is a great thing to have on this jig. But also on this jig, you have the little, almost elastic little imitations for the shrimp's legs or the claws that they have on them. Okay, but it's also an added attraction, which I think works very well. Okay, when just bringing them along the bottom, when it's stopped on the bottom, they'll just move a little bit in the tide, and they'll just give that little effect that the fish are looking for. And here it is together. Okay, automatically, see how awesome that lure looks. Okay, that jig head automatically brings that lure to life. Okay, I think it's an awesome looking lure. There's that little hook I was on about, the hook I get most of my hookups on with this little jig head. Okay, and with those added little elasticated attractions there, so just to mimic the prawn's legs or the little claws that they have, just adds that added attraction which really does excite the fish. Okay, so when this is bouncing along the bottom, I find this very, very effective. Okay, so get out there, buy yourself some nice Tenya oval jig heads, some shrimps, and get out there fishing for bass and wrasse on some light gear, and you have some brilliant fun.